The question now is what's next for the tarnished Justice Department and the FBI. Here to discuss, Jamil Jaffer. He is former Justice Department National Security Attorney, currently National Security Institute founder. Gina Loudon's with us, political analyst, and Donald J. Trump for President Advisory Board member. And Rick Unger is back with us as well. Gina, I want to start with you because it wasn't just, the higher ups and Linda Page and Peter Strzok. One FBI agent, of course, called Trump supporters all poor to middle class, uneducated, lazy POS. Another one said, I honestly feel like there's going to be more gun issues, too. The crazies have finally won. This is Tea Party on steroids. Can the FBI ever regain that sort of trust that we all once had of them?
Well, I'm not sure. I take a little bit of a different bent on this. Yes, I believe that we definitely need to give whistleblowers immunity, that we need to clean house. That it needs to be dismantled and rebuilt in a lot of ways. And I realize that there are many, many good agents, and I don't want to let that go unsaid. But I think congressional oversight needs to be expanded. I believe that we, the people, Charles, have just handed over too much power to unelected bureaucrats, and we need to take that back. And our way to do that is through the congressional oversight process.
Yeah, I do agree with respect to, I know I have a lot of friends who are FBI agents and the rank and file, but as you get up the chain, it just feels like these bureaucracies, Jamil, tend to be left-leaning. And in this particular case, they tended to have so much animosity toward President Trump that maybe some of them even took action on that.
Well, look, Larry, I obviously have defended the Justice Department and the FBI repeatedly on this show and other places. These tweets make it very hard to defend those people who are involved. Now, the institutions themselves, we have to query whether there's an institutional problem here or not. But certainly with these folks, they're completely unacceptable. You cannot have people at the FBI talking this way, particularly with the awesome power the Bureau has, talking about political candidates, saying they're going to stop them from getting elected, viva la resistance, talking about American voters in such dismissive, aggressive, almost abusive terms, completely abusive terms. Absolutely inappropriate and not acceptable, and these people need to be looked at. And Office of Professional Responsibility, I'm sure, will have something very serious to say about them.
Rick, Christopher Wray now in charge. President Trump has said he has faith in him to clean things up. Although some people felt, even with that presentation yesterday, he didn't acknowledge enough of the misconduct that had gone on, or acknowledge how probably broken the FBI is at this point.
Well, look, first of all, I got to say that may be the first time I ever heard anybody describe the FBI as left-leaning. That's
no, as you got up the upper echelons, it seems like it was pretty.
I don't know.
At least left of Donald Trump, they all seem to have a serious animosity toward President Trump.
There were certainly some. I agree with that, and I thought that Ray did a pretty good job yesterday. He possibly could have gone a little further. Actually, he knows he's got a big job to do. I actually agree with the president on Mr. Strzok. I don't know why he's still there either. I don't think he will be there much longer. People don't seem to realize he has some hearings ahead of him within the agency. I doubt that he'll be there. The text that he sent that we all read was absolutely unforgivable. Not okay by any stretch of the imagination.
Gina, where do you think this goes from here?
I don't know. As to Rick's question about them being left-leaning, I don't see how you extrapolate anything else from what we know, because, Charles, where is the one text from anyone who wasn't supporting Hillary outwardly in that last election? Everything we saw was anti-Trump from the very beginning.
Think the director was
and we saw that, but also, if I could just also say regarding Strzok, what Strzok has is he's got something on somebody. Otherwise, he wouldn't still be there. He definitely needs to go.
There's a process.
Well, that's your
process.
Yeah, I mean that's what that's your assumption, but
that's what I think.
Right. That's your. I mean, listen. Listen. At this point, everyone has opinions, and those opinions have been enhanced in the last 24 hours from this stuff that we've seen, this IG report, Jamil. And you do wonder, where does the agency go from here?
Well, look, obviously the FBI, the Justice Department, critically important institutions to our democracy, to the rule of law in this country. I do worry about the stringent criticism they've taken of the institutions themselves, and I think that's been over-aggressive and misdirected. There are bad apples. They need to be addressed. We need to get them out. We need to have them investigated. But what we don't need to do is take the institutions themselves down. That really could hurt the rule of law in this country. So we may need to reform them. We need to put fixes in place. But this is not, in my mind, a massive FBI-wide, justice-wide problem.
All right. Thank you all very much. Meanwhile, I've got some breaking